Good morning. Welcome to our session where we'll be looking to help you overcome your accounting problems. So firstly, introductions. I'm Jane. I work on customer support here at Scribe. This is Hannah, our support accountant and Scribe genius. She'll be sharing her thoughts on the issues raised today. And this is Jane, who looks after our new to Scribe customers and will be sharing some ideas around how Scribe can help. So the first issue I'd like to discuss is collating the data and the headache that lots of clerks I speak to experience, especially when either starting the role or when moving over to Scribe from their current system or attending our training sessions. So Hannah, what would you say is the biggest issue with collating the accounts data?
Hello everybody. I think the biggest issue in collating accounts data is often down to the accounting system being used. It might be because it was inherited without the proper handover or any training to go along with it, or maybe that it no longer suits the needs of the council. So wherever you keep your data, it might be in a book, it might be in a spreadsheet, or it might be in account software such as Scribe. It's really important that it's up to date and accurate. That means regularly entering the details of your payments and your receipts, ensuring you have a full paper trail for that, so the audit trail, the details of the invoices that you're entering into the system, and also completing regular bank reconciliations. So that's really important because that helps ensure that the data in your cash book is accurate. When recording your accounts data, it's important to do so in such a way that you're easily able to analyse it and produce timely and useful information from it. So this might be in terms of the monthly reports that you create for your council meetings, looking at budgets versus actual and spend. Or it might be at year end when you easily want to be able to produce your figure of staff costs for the AGAR, for example. It's also really helpful if you're able to easily drill into your accounts information to provide substance to the figures being reported. So this might be an overspent budget code where you want to see how that's come about and what that spend relates to. Therefore, try to structure your cash book in terms of the budget your council has set, so based on the budget codes that you've got, the way the precept has been built up, so that you can allocate your payments and receipts out to those budget codes. This will easily allow you to review the actual spend against those budgets, and then also help you with forecasting and looking ahead to setting future budgets and future precepts. Also consider if there are certain budget areas that you want to be able to report on easily. This might be certain committees or maybe the village hall or allotments, for example, so that you can group them together. I'd also recommend reviewing the cash book regularly, at least annually, to identify ways to improve it and to keep it up to date. So this could be in terms of adding additional codes to allow you to analyse the spend further. For example, you might have had one code for your village hall, but actually it'd be really useful to be able to see the spend on village hall electricity, village hall maintenance. So you could add additional codes to allow you to break that down further. Or it might be in terms of adding more information so that you're recording more, so you have less to look back at your paperwork and your cash book holds all the information that you might need.
Yeah, so lots of people that I speak to will already have some form of breakdown in place when it comes to what we all call cost centres and codes. So you might call them anything from budget headings to nominal or analysis codes. The key thing really is that every council is different. There really isn't a one size fits all. Many people like to keep things simple, so they might just have, say, income and expenditure as the main headings. They'll then have more in line of a sort of multiple descriptive code list that sits below each of those. There really isn't a need to overcomplicate matters if you don't want to. And when you're working with Scribe, it's easy to set up a breakdown that you're happy with and that works for you. So if you're used to working with a more simplistic breakdown, like the income and expenditure with just a few descriptive codes below, that's fine. But for people that want a higher level of detail, like Hannah referred to with the village hall and the electrical costs, with Scribe, you can set up almost a three-tiered breakdown. And it's really easy to do this. So lots of people really like the fact that when they are setting up these cost centres and codes in Scribe, they can also assign budgets right away. So at the point that you set those cost centres and codes up, Scribe will ask you to assign either a payment or a receipt budget. So what you can then do to take things a little bit further is decide how you want to then manage that budget. So there'll also be options as to whether you want to spread that budget on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, or even a flex basis. So things like grass cutting, if you know you're going to spend, diddly squat over the winter, but then have more of an escalated spend in the summer, you can account for that in Scribe and then produce the appropriate reports. And once this kind of data is set up within Scribe, reporting on the budget figures can be done by clicking a button. So at the end of the financial year, as Hannah mentioned, it's really easy as well because you can just simply copy and paste those codes across to the next financial year. You can review them, you can amend any budgets you want to and add new ones in, and you can also get rid of any cost centres or codes that you no longer need.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jade.